Presence is the thing that changes the way you spend your time. Presence is not extra. Presence is essential because you can't solve a state of overwhelm with efficiency. You can only solve it with your presence. All presence is asking you is for focused awareness, for micro shifts. It's not about adding more to your plate. It's about showing up differently to what's already on it. Catch yourself in the hurry. The next time you feel yourself rushing, your heart's racing, your emails are flying, pause. Just pause for 30 seconds. Take a breath. And in that breath, ask yourself, am I reacting or am I leading? You are not too tired to shift your presence. You are too tired not to. Because your presence is not just about how others see you, it's about how you inhabit your own life. Welcome to The Inner Edge, a podcast about leadership, self-mastery, resilience, and reinvention. I want to start out by telling you a story that happened this week. I was teaching in a global executive program this week, and we were talking about leadership presence, which is something I do regularly. And we were talking about what it means, how it shapes the way we lead, and the ripple effects your presence has on the people around us, how you make people feel, the way you show up, just how important that is as a leader. And in the middle of the discussion, one of the participants actually said something that I'll never forget. I've never heard it before, but it was really profound, actually. He said, I am just tapped out. I'm overwhelmed with responsibility. I've got so many tasks. I've got problem solving. I've got shifting markets. I've got stuff going on all the time. I've got my family to worry about. I have too much. I just have too much to balance. So the last thing I want to do, or I can do, and I'm being really frank about this, is focus on changing myself or worry about others or how others are perceiving me. I'm busy. I'm in a hurry. I need to be efficient and get things done. And honestly, this was the punchline. He said, honestly, I'm just too tired to focus on my presence and how I'm coming across to others. Yeah, if they like it, they don't like it. I'm getting results. And if I get results, that's what matters. And then there's a little bit of a silence because he was really adamant. Another man sitting across from him piled onto it. So just for context, there's about 50 people in the room. So these were two executives. And he said, I feel like that. I don't have the bandwidth or the resolve to do anything different, to try to act a different way to people between my job and my family. Janet, the reality is I'm just done. And then the room went quiet. So I'll be honest with you. What they said, it's not unusual. I hear some version of this every week in my work with senior leaders. The version where they describe, and I think we all feel it on some level, the overwhelm, the fatigue, that sense of presence or being able to self-reflect or grow or work on myself and all of those things. Those are a luxury. And really, what I hear is that, I don't have time to sit and self-reflect and think about it. Actually, some of the people that are in the class say this is the first time they've ever even thought about how they're showing up to people. And yes, they get criticized or they'll get feedback, but it's like, hey, that's the last thing I need to worry about right now. Maybe you've thought the same thing. Maybe you've thought, I don't have time for this inner work stuff. And to analyze myself and see if somebody perceives me this way and try to do that differently. I'm too busy just putting out fires. If that's you, I want you to lean into this episode because what I'm about to say in this episode might sting a little, but it could change everything. Presence Your presence, how you show up, the energy you convey to people is not something you work on when you have extra time. Presence is the thing that changes the way you spend your time. Let me say that again. Presence is not extra. Presence is essential. So when you dismiss the quality of your presence or the person you're being while you're doing all of these things as optional, as something you get to once the inbox is cleared, once the crisis is gone, once things settle down, once you have time, once this project is over, once the markets stabilize, you're actually feeding the very cycle of exhaustion that's draining you. Because you can't solve a state of overwhelm with efficiency. You can only solve it with your presence. Think about it. When you're tired and you're rushed and constantly reacting to everything around you, like frazzled in this frazzled state, you make quick decisions, but they're not thoughtful ones necessarily. You cut corners in conversations as you approach people. Yeah. You send signals through your tone, your body language, through your impatience with people. Think about even at home with your loved ones, snapping at people. And all of these little signals that you're sending every single moment erode trust. You're missing what's really going on beneath the surface because these are deposits. These are deposits of the experience of what it's like to be in your presence. And over time, these deposits gather. And really, that's the experience of you. And really, if you really think about it, that creates more problems to solve, more fires to put out, and more weight on your shoulders. So the very thing you're skipping, being intentional about your presence, is the thing that would actually maybe make you less exhausted, less rushed, and less overwhelmed in the first place. That's the paradox. So here's the uncomfortable question that I want to ask you, and I want you to ask yourself right now. What's the cost of me not being fully present? Not just the cost to you, to your energy, your clarity, and your health, because there's cost there, but the cost to your team, the cost to your relationships, to your family, to your credibility as a leader and as a leader in your life. Because whether you like it or not, your presence is contagious. Your energy is contagious. You're setting the weather as the leader in the organization. You're setting the weather. What your presence is like, if it's frazzled, if it's crazy, if it's sharp, if it's curt, if it's I don't have time for this, that's the tone that you're setting. If you're running on fumes, everyone feels it. If you're tense, defensive, or checked out, it shapes the culture around you. And this is, again, as I keep saying this is everywhere. This is at home. This is in the world. It's in your community. And what happens when leaders show up this way in organizations? Organizations become brittle. And then also, if you look at it at home, your families become strained. Trust erodes. These little deposits over time, it's eroding trust because that is, I'm going to say it again, that is the experience people have of you over time. So thinking about and working on your presence isn't something that's self-indulgent. It's not something that is nice to have. It really is leadership in action. So let me share just a simple refrain for you. When you say, I don't have time to work on my presence, what you're really saying is, I'm okay letting my exhaustion, my reactivity, and my stress lead my life. They're going to lead the way. So that's a way of thinking. But I want to challenge you to think about that. Working on your presence and how you're showing up every morning, every moment doesn't ask for you to sit down for hours of meditation or make these radical life changes. All presence is asking you is for focused awareness, for micro shifts, for the discipline, and discipline you might relate to stop letting your tired, distracted self run the show. It's not about adding more to your plate. It's about showing up differently to what's already on it. You're already doing these things. It's about thinking about who you're being while you're doing. So, to kind of round this out today, because really what I really wanted to do is have you self reflect on this notion of working on how you're showing up every moment, and that is a very important use of your time. I want to give you 3 practical invitations, not tips, just invitations, small, doable ways you can begin shifting right now. So, first of all, I would invite you to catch yourself in the hurry. The next time you feel yourself rushing, your heart's racing, your emails are flying, pause. Just pause for 30 seconds. Take a breath. Just take a breath. And in that breath, ask yourself, am I reacting or am I leading? That micro pause is presence in action because you're creating a space between your action and you're putting intention. You're inserting intention. Is this how I want to be? Is this who I want to be? The other thing I would invite you to do is to redefine what efficiency is, because I hear people say a lot, well, I need to be efficient. And we'd like to define efficiency as doing more and doing it faster. But I would like to invite you to rethink that. True efficiency is doing the right things with clarity. Before diving into all the tasks you have to do, maybe I would say, hey, what really matters here? Presence, being fully present, intentionally present, and being intentional about how you show up saves you from wasting energy on the noise. And that's really actually more efficient. And then finally, the last invitation I would give you is to anchor your energy. At the end of the day, presence isn't about perception. It's about energy. You cannot fake being centered. And so being centered is about feeling grounded in your body, feeling grounded and intentional. And so what's one thing, one practice, whether it's more sleep? Actually, one of the participants said, I really need to get more sleep because I'm just not myself. Maybe it's walking. Maybe it's a workout. Something that can anchor you. What's one of those things that you can protect as non-negotiable for yourself? And really, the practice is anchoring yourself so others can anchor to you. And these are simple. These are simple invitations, but these simple things have you thinking about your intentionality. Okay, so now I want to speak to those participants in that session again, and maybe to you if you've been silently agreeing with them that you just don't have time to focus on this stuff. I just want to tell you, I don't dismiss your exhaustion. I get it. I'm exhausted too. I don't dismiss the crushing weight of responsibility you're carrying. All of that is real. But what I will challenge is this. You are not too tired to shift your presence. You are too tired not to. Because your presence is not just about how others see you, it's about how you inhabit your own life. And if you're moving so fast, so numb, so consumed that you never feel fully in it, then what exactly are you racing towards? So here's my question for you to take into the week. Where in your life have you been saying, I'm too tired to work on my presence or to work on how I'm showing up? And what would that look like if you reverse that? If you instead, because I'm tired, I'm going to start working on being more intentional. That's where I'm going to start. That shift, subtle, defiant, powerful, could change the way you lead. And more importantly, it really could change the way you live.